This is the Weebill 3 and this is the DJI RS3. So through popular demand, I'm going to compare these two, the differences and which one is right for you. If you're a regular, you will know that these videos are not sponsored. Both of these are my own products. So rest assured, what I'm about to tell you right now is definitely 100% my honest opinion. We're going to compare a couple of different categories and we're going to give 1 point for each winning side. End of the day, which one is right for you? I think you're old enough to pick the one that's for you. My job here is to show you the differences and which one I think deserves a point. Let's go. First thing is the design and portability. These two, when compared side by side, I think the DJI Weebill 3 is smaller, especially the fact that you can take off the tripod and you can rest it on the table. One side of caution, if you do not have the wrist plate, putting it like this is still quite unstable, so I still recommend having one of these. The new design on RS3 is very good as well. The battery is portable, you can take that apart, and that makes it really convenient putting it into your backpack. So end of the day, that comes down to your own preference. If you traveled a lot and you're worried about portability, then DJI is smaller when unpacked. But when you are shooting fully extended, I think the Weebill 3 is smaller. Number 2, battery life and how long you can use these. Now on paper, the Weebill 3 is 21 hours, whereas the DJI is only 12 hours. Now both do support PD fast charge, usually around 1.5 to 2 hours, and you'll get a max charge. So both of these are about the same. But in terms of continual use, I've used both of these during my test for about a day, full on non-stop, and I can tell you by the end of the day, this would have more battery left. But the one benefit of having a swappable grip battery like the DJI is you can purchase an additional battery and then just quick swap and you're good to go. But that costs extra money. So for me, out of the box, I think the Weebill 3 wins in this round. Number 3, quality. Now by that, I mean the construction quality and the overall appearance and how it feels in your hands. I think the DJI wins in terms of design quality and the material that's being used, the feel of its buttons and how close or how flush the lines line up between the parts. Now, one concern that people had with the DJI RS2 is that the hand grip tends to peel over time. Now, I haven't had that with my version, but I will be doing a long-term review update for these gimbals, so if you want to see that, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to give this one to DJI. Accessories. Now, of course, money is a factor here. The more money you have, the more accessories you can buy, but that's not what I'm concerned here. I'm mostly looking at the combo accessories that comes with the purchase. Now, from what I have both the combo pack. This is the Weebill 3, and the combo pack comes with a wrist grip as well as a hand grip. Likewise, on the DJI, you do get an adjustable hand grip and also a follow focus. Now, the wrist support on the Weebill 3 is really comfortable, especially when you're shooting portrait or a handheld slingshot motion. It really counterweights the whole gimbal on your wrist, and that's really comfortable. I'm a bit disappointed with Weebill 3 this time. It is a foam grip and it does twist a little bit, so it doesn't give that sense of security, and I think over time this might actually deform. I'm not sure, but this is foam, so whereas DJI is an adjustable grip with an actual 1/4 inch mount and a cold shoe at the back. So from the accessories, this is not an apple to apple comparison. It depends on what you use and how you use it. For example, I don't use the follow focus as much, so this will be a better package for me. Now keep in mind, the price is different as well. Depending on your own preference, make your own choice. Let's talk about the weight. Both around 1.3 kilos, but one thing I really like about the Weebill 3 is because the battery is actually designed at the bottom, your center of gravity or the weight is actually very well balanced down here. Whereas the RS3 and like all other gimbals that's previously on the market, it's very top heavy, especially with a heavy setup like this. So you feel the weight kind of leaning forward depending on what your camera is leaning. Now you might think this is not a big difference, but if you're shooting long term, especially if you're shooting handheld slingshot, this motion on the Weebill 3 actually helps a lot with your shoots. So this round, I'm going to give it to the Weebill 3. Next round, ease of balance and gimbals. Okay, so both use the same gimbal weight, at least on paper, 3 kilos. Now with my setup, around 1.5 kilos, this is a GM2470 with a Sony S3 or M3, similar weight. In terms of design of the gimbals, all three have access lock, but one thing that the RS3 excels at is the automatic unlock and lock feature. The moment you can take out your camera, unlock, start shooting, lock it again, and then go to the next scene. It really saves a lot of time over a daily shoot. So this round, in terms of gimbals, I'm going to give it to the RS3. Next round, the quick release plate. Both use a step-up plate, so you can use bigger lenses like this with a lot of clearance. It also makes the whole experience a lot better, so you can take your camera off, shoot, and then put it back on without rebalancing. Both have the same quick release plate, so this round everyone gets a point. Next round, Other features, its buttons and user-friendly. Now in terms of button layout and its usability and comfortability, both have the trigger button as well as the roll wheel and the scroll button with the joystick. Now what's different, and I think where RS3 excels at, is the screen this time. You get a 1.8-inch colored OLED touchscreen, and on the Weebill 3 it's a much smaller black and white OLED screen. Now that's not to say the screen is useless. Now all the main settings and adjustments as well as modes can be accessed on both screens. It's just that the RS3 has a much better design in terms of UI and intuitiveness. So this one, I'm going to give it to the RS3. Next round, expandability. Now both of these, I feel they're both very limited. Maybe the RS3 is a little bit better. Now let me explain. See, with the Weebill 3, you only have 2/4-inch mounts on the bottom. That's taken up by the grip as well as the wrist support. Now you can remove these and then plug something else in. You do have a 1/4-inch at the bottom, so you can put an extended tripod or something else to extend that. But apart from that, you don't have any cold shoes or other mounting points. Whereas the RS3, well, it uses the native rail. Now if you do already have accessories that goes onto this rail, good for you. If not, then you will need to purchase something like this. But the good thing about this is that, you know, once you do have the combo pack, you do have a 1/4-inch mount or a cold shoe at the back. You also have another one on the side as well. So I guess it's a little bit better, but both of these, I don't think it's very good this time around. But half a point. Additional features. Now there are some things that are on the Weebill 3 that's not available on the Ronin ever. In fact, I've never seen it on another gimbal, and that's a microphone and also a selfie light. Is it good? It's good enough to replace your camera microphone, but you have a wireless or something else more professional or a shotgun mic, definitely use that. Noise is a little bit muffled, so I feel like in a pinch, you could get away with it. I guess it's better to have than not to have it at all. Now the selfie light, it does give you some fairly harsh lights, but at night in low light areas, you are able to get away with the shot. So those two features, good to have, but definitely not a purchasing point. I'm gonna give it a point to Weebill 3. Next one, stability. We're gonna use this setup, the Sony S3 with the 24-70 GM lens. I'm gonna shoot it in both 24 and 70, just so that I can extend that vibration, if any, on a long lens. And I'm also gonna turn the camera stabilization on and off while walking and running. Okay, you've seen the results. What do you think? Let me know in the comments which one you think is more stable. I'm not going to judge this one. I think both are very competitive. The reason you're seeing a lot of shake compared to the other reviews is because I can guarantee a lot of the reviewers who are getting paid to do these reviews do not have the camera stability turned off, or they do a little bit of post. So I'm not saying it's bad, but you know, I want to give you my honest opinion. So you guys decide which one is more stable, okay? Next round is other features. Now there are some things that I can't compare between gimbals to gimbal because it just don't have that feature, but I'm going to mention this and for each one you are going to get a point. For example, the RS3 has active track. It is very good, but to have that you will need to purchase Raven Eye transmission, and that costs extra money. So I'm not going to give it a point for that unless you really need that. But what's really good this year is that the RS3 comes with Bluetooth control. Now keep in mind, asterisks here, not all cameras are compatible with the Bluetooth functions. So please check on the official website to see if your camera is compatible, something that not many people tell you. You can use the Bluetooth to control your camera, and all you have to do is pair it once, and every time it turns itself on, it'll automatically pair. It's really fast and intuitive. And then you can use the record buttons on the gimbal to record your camera. But ZHIYUN has more customizable buttons, especially the roll dial as well as the trigger, both of which can be customized to do a function of your choice. For example, roll, focus, or change modes. You can also use it to adjust your camera's focus, ISO, shutter speed. Whereas the RS3, you can adjust the roll button, but you cannot customize its trigger button. And finally, the price, both of which comes at a different price range. Here in China, I'm going to leave the price on screen. This is cheaper by a few hundred RMBs, which is less than 50, 60 US dollars. That is still a saving, and to some people that matters, so that's going to get a point. But in terms of bang for buck, I think the Weebill 3 is a clear winner here. Hope you like this short, concise, and honest comparison. If you want to see more gimbal reviews, I'm going to do a full gimbal comparison with all my gimbals in the last 2 years. And if you want to see that, that's coming soon. It's taking a lot of time to prepare, and I should be able to have that out very, very soon. Okay, so if you like this video, feel free to like, and if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. Peace.